Here's a couple more examples of finding surface area utilizing nets, which means opening this figure up and creating the individual pieces. And so this is sitting on a 15 by 8. If this is the bottom and we fold it up, this is also a 15 by 8. This is an 8 by 2, which flaps up, and this would match here, so that's a 2. And so now I have all my dimensions because this matches here, and this matches here, and this matches here, because that would be the bottom and that would be the top as it folded over. What is the name of the shape? It is a rectangular prism. That means it is a rectangle folded up, and all the faces, it has a base of a rectangle and faces of also a rectangle. So I'm going to do each of these, and 15 times 8 is 120. So that's 120. 15 times 2 is 30. And that's 16, and that's 16. And so I'd have 120, and I can go right down the flaps. 30, 120, 30, 16, and 16. 150 is 300. That's 32, so that's 332. 332 millimeters squared because it's area. This is coming, it has a base of a square. And when you fold all these pieces up, it comes to a point, so that is a pyramid. I'm scratching this out because I don't want to do lateral right now. I just want to do total. This is a square that is 5 by 5. And this is the slant height, but it also is going to be this height right here. And this is the height that I need to find out this area of the triangle, and that's 9. So it is 1/2 5 times 9, which is a half of 45, which is 22.5. And there's 4 of them. So this is 22.5, this is 22.5, this is 22.5 because it's surrounded by it's the same thing on each side of the 4 pieces of 4 sides of the square. And so 22.5, 2 of them would be 45, that would be 90. That would be 90, and then my square is a 5 by 5, which is 25, and that is 115 feet squared. So when you're adding, I'm adding these in my head and using patterns. You're more than welcome to go 5 and 5 is 10, 10 and 15, 20, carry the 2, or 0, carry the 2, and do all that. I do 22.5 and 22.5. That's 45, 45, and 45 is 90, just how I was taught to add. Okay, this is a rectangular prism. And this is a 12 by 20. And the slant height is 10. And the slant height is still 10 because it's the same thing. So I'm going to have to do 2 triangles. This triangle and this triangle match, and then this triangle and this triangle match. So this one is 1/2 of 12 times 10, which is half of 12 is 6. 6 times 10 is 60. So this is 60. Notice I circle them so I can tell which ones are my areas. This is, I'm doing this one, half of 10 times 20, which is 100. So this is 100. This is 100. And 20 times 12 is 240. So I have 240 because area of a rectangle is length times width, or base times height. I have 240. I have the triangles on the top and the bottom are 60, and the two on the sides are 100. So that's 300, 400, 560. 560 inches squared. Again, you can go 0, 0, 0, and then you can add it up that way, and that is fine. So this one is a cylinder. And the major concept of the cylinder is, think of a soup can. And there's a rectangle and two circles. This is the top of the can and the bottom of the can. But the biggest thing, the biggest concept that you have to come out of this is the length of the rectangle. If I start my circle here and I start my soup can and I wrap it around, it's the circumference. So this is 2 pi r. That's how you're going to find the length of that rectangle. So here you have the area of a circle, and you have area of a circle is pi r squared, which is pi times 9 squared, which is 81 pi. That's for this circle, but the top and the bottom are both the same, so it's 162 pi for two circles. Okay, and then the rectangle is 9 by 2 pi r. So it's 18 times, 9 times 2 pi times 9. 81 times 2 is 162 pi. So adding this and this, you would get the area of the surface area is 324 pi, and then you would actually multiply 324 times 3.14. And then the last one, again, the biggest concept is this is going to be 2 pi r, because wrapping around a soup label, wrapping around a can, covers the circumference. Because when I wrap something around a circle, that's called circumference. So I have a circle, which is pi r squared, which is pi times 15 squared, which is 225. And I have two circles, which is 450 pi. And then I have a rectangle, and that is 7 times 2 times pi times 15. That's 7 times 30 pi, 210 pi. Adding those together, because the surface area covers that, and that, is surface area equals 660 pi. Biggest concept on cylinders is that the length of the rectangle is the circumference of the circle. They're one and the same.